What is your identity?
My identity? Like, what do I identify as? I don't know. I don't think it's like something that you can... I don't know.
Ginger.
Whoa, I need more time for this.
It's hard to say. It's like being asked what your favorite movie is, and then forgetting like every movie you've ever watched, except I just forgot everything about myself. Does that answer it?
Throughout the college admissions process, high school seniors, usually no older than 18, are asked to give a complete, holistic, and representative reflection of themselves. Listing interests, telling stories, explaining formative life experiences, giving qualifications, checking boxes. These are supposed to amount to a portrayal on paper of who we are as people. But how do we define ourselves on paper? How do we give ourselves an identity? Just one. Through an essay? Through a checklist? Through a 3-inch by 3-inch box?
I don't even know what inches are.
Inches? What is inches?
Like 1.5, right? So this is 9. No, wait. Yeah, no, absolutely not at all. Okay.
I work in centimeters. A 3-inch by 3-inch square. Okay.
The question of identity is highlighted throughout adolescence because as we are discovering the world around us, we're discovering it ourselves and we're discovering how we navigate these pathways, this life. Culture inherently influences our identity, our processes of figuring out who we are and how we act. Symbolic anthropologist Clifford Geertz defines culture something that we take for granted, something that we don't even usually know how to define. He defines it as webs of meaning, suggesting that the import of an object transcends the physical elements. So symbols such as a flag or actions such as a wink, these are all ingrained with cultural meaning, which are only understood in the cultural context. Now, if you're taken out of your cultural context, you realize the prevalence of these symbols. And for me, this is what happened. I realized what these symbols mean to me when I left home and moved to the United World College in Mostar, Bosnia and Herzegovina. I moved far away from the comforts of my family, community, nation, and from the shared cultural knowledge of what an inch is. In a city that's where the war is still so pertinent, where there's a visible ethnic divide, identity is heightened. And adding 200 students from 16 to 19 years old from over 70 countries adds to that richness of culture and different understandings of the world, and the fluidity of identity really stands out.
I think a big part of my identity is my name, and Marguerite is a flower, so that's a flower.
I'm Jewish.
I struggle with my identity quite a bit, I guess, because I come from 2 different backgrounds.
Anything I stand for and value.
My identity is kind of based around trying to find peace for the land, and also like it's really shaped who I've come to be.
Identity is whatever you feel a part of, whatever belongs to you, in my opinion.
My energy.
Like half, I don't know, European, half Filipino.
It's how we see ourselves, how we think about the world.
The Israeli flag, it has the 2 lines because like I do feel Israeli in a way, but that's just like I'm a person like all the others.
I feel like identity can not only involve your interests and hobbies, but also the people you surround yourself with.
I don't really know how to say, like just to give like one description of my identity, because I think it's constantly changing as well.
In trying to find a universal definition of identity, I just discovered that I relearned that identity depends on who you're asking, the identity of that person. Our cultural upbringings, our values, our perspectives influence us, and these are expressed through symbols, through daily actions, through what we do, through how we spend our time. And these identifying qualities are then put into boxes. They're put onto text boxes on the Common Application. They're put into 3 inches by 3 inches. Through these symbolic items and cultural processes, we express our identities and give them a public name, give them a public face, give them cultural import. But how important are these boxes to who we are? You know, the importance isn't in the boxes we were put in. The importance is in understanding that the complexity and fluidity of our identities transcends these boxes, even if we do fit into them. We can fit into multiple boxes at one time. And why shouldn't we?
Stop trying to box me in. Stop trying to box me in.